Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, 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 and welcome, boys and girls, to the 200th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends at Audio Technica. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere, Brendan 8bit. And joining me today, my partner in crime, my podcast ride or die, rolling in grand fashion for episode 200. We're talking about Miss Ellie Hart. Find her everywhere at Miss Ellie Hart. How you doing today?
We
on the big
made
200.
it 200. We can retire now, right?
Yeah, it's like when do you put a podcast out to pasture? That's the thing.
I have no idea. There's a lot of pods out there that are still going, wrapping up like 800 episodes. And I'm just like, damn, like proud of 200, but then the next hurdle. What's the next hurdle? What's the next goal?
250, I think, is a big number. But then it's
350.
like, yeah, where does it end? Yeah, 350, 500, 1,000, like 1,000 episodes. That's a lot of years. That's like 10 years of podcasting.
That's literally just like letting people into your life and just, oh God, aging with them.
Yeah.
You're doing your deathbed podcast.
Episodes through like 800 to 900 will be just like, didn't do much today. All right, see you next week. And, just little bangers.
Talking about bowel movements more than anything. Although we probably still do that now. So
I was about to say that doesn't change much. It's just maybe they become more regular. Do they get more regular as you get older or less?
I think they get less.
Okay. Yeah, I need some less regular bowel movements. That's for damn sure. My body and diet this past week has been a mess, and subsequently the porcelain has been equally messy. But yeah, that's a story for another day, because I don't want you to vomit up your breakfast or dinner or lunch, depending on when you're consuming this episode. But yeah, episode 200. My goodness gracious me, it has been a journey, but we've gotten here in one piece. 2 pieces.
2 pieces.
3-piece was a 4-piece, down to a 3-piece, now 2-piece.
Yeah. We've gone through many changes. There's been many different intros, guests, people that are permanently, and then people that have come and gone. And we've had different shows, episodes, games. Now we've got a full-fledged game show. It's the evolution of the Hungry Gamers.
Exactly. It has been quite the journey, and we've got a pretty good fabled history there. 207 recorded episodes to date in the Hungry Gamers RSS feed, so that includes some spoiler casts. Obviously, the Hungry Game Show is parked there for now, and then the usual THG-centric episodes as well. So, a bucket load of content. But I guess we should kick it how we always do, and maybe ask what we've been up to this past fortnight, because we did have a week off between drinks. So, tell me the things. What have you been doing? What have you been seeing, eating, whatever? The floor is yours.
So, as tradition of 200 episodes, why would I want to change? I've been playing Destiny, motherfuckers. So I'm going to keep it light. I've just been playing... Bastard. That should have been if I actually played something different, but I didn't. I'm not going to go into it. I'm still loving Destiny. I'm still shit at Crucible. If anyone has tips, let me know. I have no idea. I'm great at gear, but shit at Crucible.
What guns do you have as your rotation in Crucible?
Well, I was switching out a hand cannon, because usually that doesn't well. I usually do a hand cannon and then an automatic. So I've got like my little pew 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 gun, and then I have something that's a little bit more chunkier that does like heavier damage, but like faster as well. Because I'm not a shotgun person. I'm also not a pulse rifle person. So I usually
hate pulse rifles.
Yeah, I'm usually sitting on like maybe like an auto or maybe even a scout rifle, and then I've got my sword as my major.
As your heavy, as your special.
My Black Talon, which the day one that I got Black Talon, like this specific one, I've kept it. I've kept it with me the entire time because
it's just a good looking sword too.
It's a good looking sword, but I don't know, like the one that I have is just like it's awesome. It's does some damage, but yeah, but it's not working like this rollout that I usually do for Gambit. It's not working for Crucible at all. So apparently I did the dog move and I brought out my trust. Apparently you don't bring out your trust. So
that's bad meta apparently.
Apparently. So, but I need all the help I can get.
Send your tips and tricks in. Mine when I play Crucible, I'm always about just rate of fire is what I'm looking for. So I was always submachine gun as a primary and then assault rifle as my secondary. So it's just auto fire, max bullets, and just sort of try and sponge damage and do as much damage at the same time as my little Titan. So, but then a sword on my back too.
Yeah. Well, I think my biggest problem, or how I used to play, is I'm pretty certain that I had a really strong scout, so it doesn't go as fast, but it does a good speed better than a sniper, but it also had higher impact. So all you had to do was just land a couple of headshots and you were good. But I don't know, maybe I'm just running with the wrong gear, but maybe it's because I just don't play it.
You could masterworks them to change their little rollout too. That could maybe boost the right stat. 2 of my hand cannons are masterworks. Okay. But I don't know. Maybe the Crucible is just too there are people that just strictly do Crucible, and maybe they're just constantly running it. And there's friggin' not Trials of Osiris, but the other one that I don't do, Iron Banner, is currently on as well. So everyone's sweaty. I love the Iron Banner just because you get that sweet armor. I love the armor sets they have.
Never participated in Iron Banner.
I still run the Iron Banner chest on my Titan because he's got the fluffy neck roll on the back of a big knight armor piece. It looks so good.
Yeah, I'm still rolling my old gear because I've made my character, my hunter, look like Scarecrow from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've just been rolling that and just powering that up. I don't like change, but yeah, like I said, still enjoying it. So hopefully it can, keep on keeping on until the new content comes out in September. So I've still got some time.
I think it's early September.
Yeah. So
it's not far away.
Not far away, no. And on the side, how you always have to have a side game that kind of just you chill out to. I'm playing Prison Architect as my side game. I don't know why. It's my stupid thing where I like organization and order and everything having its place. I don't know why I like that sort of game and why I find it relaxing, but I do.
What are you playing it on? Because it's on everything these days, right?
I only ever have played it on PC. I don't understand how people could play these kind of games on console. Because the maneuvering,
navigating a pseudo mouse.
Exactly. So I've only ever played it on PC. I'm loving it at the moment because you can play with women's prison now. I've always been used to male prison, and the women's prison's great, except for I think it's glitched because in the male one, if the guys are working out, sometimes they take their tops off, and I noticed playing it, the women got naked, they got their tits out and they're working out, and I'm like, that's not right. That has to be a glitch, especially because they also have a maternity area, women with babies.
Okay.
And I just set up a boxing gym and so they can work out, and then next I noticed this naked woman on the weights bench while holding a baby naked. Oh, wow. And I'm just this
multitasking at its finest right there.
Well, exactly. And women are great at it, but the clothes off, maybe she didn't want to get them dirty. That makes sense.
Yeah, because obviously some of them do have the laundry rolls and things like that in those prisons.
Yeah.
So yeah, does that for a living, doesn't want to have to worry about it while she's pumping iron and breastfeeding at the same time.
Oh, you know what? That's probably what she's doing, breastfeeding and pumping iron.
Power to them.
Yeah, right. But yeah, love the game. It's like I said, it's my relaxing game, which probably sounds crazy to some people, but for me, it's my I just want to relax and play video games, so I load that up. I guess because I know what I'm in for.
Yeah, and then world builders are like that. I think it is kind of a little bit of a a sort of chilled out mode where you are just cruising around. The world is yours, literally, and it's just fun to sort of either mess with the people or give them the best life, and just sort of see what this was Minecraft, I guess, before Minecraft was a thing, really. You think of SimCity and stuff like that. This was sort of how we used to cut our teeth on these rando simulators. And this game's been out, 5 years, I think? It's been out a while.
It's been out quite some time. I've been playing, I feels like I've been playing this game for quite some time.
75% off currently on Steam.
Oh, there you go, people. The Kickstarter for when this game, just before its launch, actually had it. If you supported a specific tier, you could actually put your name in it and be a prisoner.
God, that's great.
Yeah, so
I need to be more aware of those random Kickstarter stretch goals and things, because I just want to sort of plug myself into random games all over, just as nothing. I don't need to be no lead character. Just check my name on a wall, kill me, give me a quest to give you, whatever it is, just something. Yeah,
immortalize yourself in a game somewhere. It makes sense. I get it. And the only other thing, I've been playing a beta, but I'm not gonna say what it is because I still don't know what the rules are. But I've been playing a beta. It's absolutely fun. It's something that I've been looking forward to. So I don't know if anyone pays attention. They could probably get a rough idea. But it's been loads of fun, and I can't wait for when this title comes out. I think everyone will really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much, but it's through a publisher, I think, whose name begins and ends with D. That's all I'm saying.
Kinda, but yeah.
Oh, no, it's 2 words. It doesn't begin and end with D. Yeah, I'm like, oh, goodness. It's Saturday morning. It's 8:52. So forgive me and my sleep-deprived state.
It's almost 4 p.m. Excuse my sleep-deprived.
Yeah, in the past.
In the past.
Yeah, so all I've done the past couple of weeks now is I just took my time and just full level of immersion with The Last of Us Part 2. That's all I played. And I had Rach watch along with me, so she sort of experienced it indirectly, wasn't controlling Ellie or Abby, but was living the game. And yeah, so finished it earlier this week finally, and my goodness gracious me, what a journey that was. The emotional toll that it took on me was something. Was it a perfect game, in all aspects? No way. But was it an amazing, fantastic, perfect piece of writing? Yes it was. The story itself is just outweighing, I guess, some of the annoying loops and things that I found that they force you into. But yeah, Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann and his team, crafted a fitting send-off if that's what this ultimately is going to be. No doubt with demand and money, the higher-ups will push for a third entry into this series because this thing's selling like bananas. It's like the fastest-selling PlayStation 4 game in history now. I think it trumped Spider-Man within sort of based off first week sales, 4 million copies in the first week, which is bonkers.
Was it God of War?
It's got a what, sorry?
Oh, I was trying to think who they beat. I thought it was God of War, but it could be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know it was up there too. Yeah, 4 million in 1 week is no joke, and I can see why. We've got a full spoiler cast coming out in the next week as well. Jono and I are recording that actually directly after THG 200s, so I won't sort of dive too deep on my thoughts here on THG episode 200. Kudos to us. But yeah, it is fantastic piece of story writing, and yeah, well deserving of a lot of the game of the year hype that it's getting. Obviously we've still got some pretty big pillars to come out in the next few months with Ghost of Tsushima, with Cyberpunk 2077. I think they're probably the 2 other biggest hitters that are making its way to stores throughout the rest of 2020. But yeah, this game, it hit hard in a lot of ways, and just the writing is phenomenal. The character developments and the character arcs, chef's kiss. But that's all I'm going to say. Keep your ears and eyes peeled to the THG RSS feed, because there'll be a spoiler cast episode dropping sometime next week with Jono and myself unpacking the game. We're going to start with a non-spoiler review to begin, and then we're going to jump into spoilers. So for anyone that hasn't played it, you can still listen, get a bit more feedback, and then maybe shape your opinion if you're going to play it. But anyone that has, there'll be a full spoiler part of the episode as well, following on directly after the non-spoiler section. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. But yeah, my goodness gracious, what a game, what a franchise, and my God, what a journey. My heart and emotions, they're in tatters at the moment. So I'm piecing myself together as we speak. But yeah, Last of Us Part 2, chef's kiss.
What is it with people now saying chef's kiss?
I don't know. I think I blame NATO because
I was going to say the first time I really noticed it was NATO. And now I'm hearing it more.
No, that game, as we should say, that game bops.
Aw, it does bop.
Shout out to Tilby. That's his version of slaps, as the kids say these days. So yeah, The Last of Us Part 2, 5 out of 5 bops. Really, really well done. But yeah, check it out in detail.
Hang on. So it's not perfect, but it's still 5 out of 5.
With bops. I don't know what bops. Yeah.
In the currency exchange of
with inflation and things, like if we're gonna hot take out of 10, I'm not gonna say 6 out of 10, but I'd say overall with just what I took out of it, it's a solid like 9.5 for me. Like it's pretty damn special, but just a couple of things I think they could do without.
Okay.
So yeah, so still phenomenal, and I can see why some people would say 10s or whatever. But anywho. Let's talk a bit of THG. I thought we'd rattle off a little bit of show statistics before we weave our way through a lot of questions and audio files that some of our fantastic friends and fans have sent through to us. But I guess some show stats for anyone that loves those analytics and that data. Anyone that doesn't, I'm sorry. I'll try and make this brief. But the top 3 platforms where people consume our podcast. So Apple falls in at number 1. So that could be iTunes itself through a web browser or through a PC, or it could be through the Apple Podcasts platform for iPhone users. Spotify comes in at number 2.
Oh.
And then Pocket Casts comes in at number 3. So
Nice.
Pocket Casts is my podcast player of choice. I love me some Pocket Casts. Great little app. But yeah, Apple, not surprised. It's still probably the standard for podcast consumption for most. And then Spotify is it's been doing podcasts now for about 1.5 years, I think, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really, I don't actually really pinpoint. I always thought that Spotify did podcasts, but I guess it has only been very recently.
Yeah.
Because, with your SoundClouds and whatnot.
Yeah, SoundCloud. That's where we began way back when. THG kicked things off on SoundCloud as we were clueless people working out of Kerbo's spare bedroom. SoundCloud seemed to be the go. Actually cancelled our SoundCloud subscription only about 3 months ago because I'm like, why am I paying for this? We don't use the service. But anyway. All right, so moving on and tying in, I guess, to the iTunes and Apple. So on iTunes, we have an average rating of 4.9 out of 5, and that's based off 184 global reviews. So that is fantastic. Those are 1-star reviews. I'm still waiting for you to come talk to me because, I'll take your criticism on board, but yeah, don't be a butthead and sort of tank content for the sake of tanking content for jealousy or dickish reasons. Like just tell us what's going on. We're seeing this with a lot of games. People get on Metacritic and Steam and things and bomb games due to social opinions or just trying to go against the grain. So be nice.
Come and talk to Uncle Brendo.
Yeah, come. I'm not going to say come sit on my knee. That's a bit creepy, but slide into my DMs and tell me how we can be better.
That's not creepy either. I just appreciate every person that took the effort and time to kind of just sit there and just hit the star, whatever star you picked, review, and take the time to even write a review as well, because some of us, we're just living in the emotions. So the fact that you guys actually took that extra step for us and actually wrote down your thoughts, your opinions, what you loved, what you didn't love, what you wanted to see more of, we really appreciate it.
100%. I think you said that far better than I did. I went weird and creepy with sitting on knees and sliding into DMs.
You can also sit on Brendan's knee.
You can. Just not my left knee. My left knee is my trouble knee. So take my right knee. But yeah, those ratings reviews, they obviously you keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. I know we say that and it's a bit of a probably throwaway line, but it is true. As Ali just said, it keeps us going, and it knows that people are out there that are listening and consuming the content and appreciating the content and sharing feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. I think that's key for all content creation out there. Give those content creators feedback. If it is good, why? If it's not good, why? So they can improve their craft and their product and try and deliver the best thing they can, because it helps us all grow, helps us all get better. So thank you for the ones that do take the time. And those ones that are taking the time, the top 3 countries that consume our podcast, going from number 3 down to number 1. In third place, Canada, coming in at number 3 on the charts for us as far as listener penetration. Number 2, the United States of America. Come on now. Get your head out of the gutter.
Why now? 200 episodes. Why now?
And the obviously number 1 spot for 2 proud Aussies here, even though you're now sort of expat and pseudo-American. Australia comes in at number 1 as far as our most listened regions in the world. Obviously, we do have a smattering of fans in just about every country, which is great, and we appreciate that. And it's always cool to see us randomly pop up in charts in sort of areas we never expected to make any form of relevancy in. So that means an awful lot. So thank you to each and every one of y'all that are not only in those top 3 countries, but in the other regions, because it means a lot. And hopefully our accents and our lingo isn't too difficult to understand in some of those, I guess, less fluent English countries that we sort of have some fans in, because I know we don't make things easy with the way we talk sometimes.
No. I have been told that sometimes we have been hard to understand. So
yeah. Sorry, not sorry. All right. So sort of furthermore, approximately 600 hours of editing has gone into creating 275 hours of Hungry Gamers content. And that, as earlier mentioned, is spread across 207 episodes. So 600 hours creating 275 hours of listenable content at the end of that. And that's a lot of hours. That is a lot of hours. That's nearly 900 hours to make 207 episodes.
600 hours of editing for 275 hours of actual consumption that people hear. That means, listeners, that yes, there is a lot of bullshit that we talk about before we start recording and before the show starts and afterwards. But mostly before. And plus, all the hard work Brendan does with editing the chaos that is our podcast, especially one that, we're no longer in the same space. So it takes that little extra bit of love.
And the thing is, with the editing, it's not so much that when we're recording, it's just a mess. It's more so I just like to listen to the episode front to back on the edit and just see if there's any weird voice-based anomalies or computer glitches, because as Ali said, we are scattered across the globe now, so latency and lag and all that plays in, and you can get some weird lawnmower man sort of voices popping in here and there when you do get a little bit of a drop in internet bandwidth. So it's more so just making it through. And prior to having this fantastic Rodecaster soundboard I've got now, all the sound bites were put in manually in post, and we weren't really writing timestamps of when we got to the news or the iTunes reviews and things like that. So it was, you had to listen through, find where it was, import the soundbite, line it up, get the volume levels right, and it was just a very meticulous, finicky process. So this board is really helping get things going and keeping it rocking and rolling. The next part I thought was interesting. Our average listener consumes 89% of an episode. So they're either starting late or finishing early. Maybe they can tell when we're getting to the back end of an episode. Maybe it's to do, they know when they hear now the upcoming like new releases and events. Maybe
they're like, see ya.
Yep, we know where this goes from here. So 89%, I think that's still pretty good. Looking at sort of global statistics, some podcasts and averages are much lower than that. So thank you, loyal listeners, for sticking around for 89% of what we do.
I mean, if people kept listening past that point, they might have started hearing some things at the end.
Yes. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but we're sort of weaving in little Easter eggs in the outro credits now. So it might be in your best interest to bump that number from 89% up to 100. You're so close. Why would you stop in a 100-meter dash at 90 meters with 10 to go? Come on. Finish the race.
Get sore.
What was that? They're sore.
As a person that's been running recently, you get fucking sore.
You got to push through. What do they call that?
It's the wall, they say. Like when you're running, you hit the wall. But then when you get past the wall, apparently things get more exciting, which is technically correct now with our episodes.
That is very correct. That is very, very correct. It could be the peak of our episodes in those outro little B-rolls. So be sure to tune in and listen. We may even weave some like sneaky competitions in the back end in the future.
Ooh.
Can't confirm, but
Gonna have to
better listen just to make sure. So over the course of 207 episodes collectively, we've had 17 different guests don a co-host chair. So a good rotation of people from both here in Australia, both in the United States, and the number one person based off volume for repeat co-hosting is actually Mr. Chef's Kiss. We're talking about NATO J. He's actually been on 13 episodes
really?
of the Hungry Gamers, which took me by surprise.
Bastard.
Yeah, so he's been on 13. Jono's been on 9, and that includes the recent Hungry Game Show episode as well. And then Benny's been on 6. Jack Cruz has been on 3. Pez has been on 2. And then we've got a lot of fantastic singular attendees in Anthony from Dad Bod Plays. A couple of NPCs have been on there. D1 DLC. We've also had Luke Lancaster, obviously the head of PAX and Read Pop here in Australia. Maddie Tilby recently. Nobu from Game Sushi. Reset podcast was on our big 50th episode when we had them record with us during RTX.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, at the second Hungry HQ at my former job at the office. We had Roger from Button Mash on, as well as Zach from News to Reviews. So yeah, good sort of smattering of different personalities over this sort of 4-ish year journey. So appreciate y'all. And Matt, NATO, 13 episodes. Sneaky. Yeah. He's there grinning because he's like, I need more.
Yeah.
I need more. Yeah, that's been us in a nutshell. As far as the THG experience goes, Libsyn, we're just about to hit 150,000 lifetime downloads / listens on Libsyn, which is great. And then we've also got previous history from our SoundCloud foray when we first began. So collectively we're close to 200,000 total downloads / listens over this 4-year period, which is extremely humbling. And we thank you all for taking the time to give us a spin at least once.
Yeah. Oof. Oh, it's sad to see, because I remember the SoundCloud. I used to go check out the SoundCloud every now and then.
It's a clean platform. SoundCloud's nice, but I know we had some issues where there was server downtime and episodes weren't playable. Yeah. So I pivoted and just so happened to end up on Libsyn, which is one of the most expensive platforms to host podcasts on, but it's stable. A lot of integration, great offering as far as getting you onto a lot of platforms. So yeah, Libsyn's great. Not a paid promotion, that is. This is just fans of the platform and allowing us to get onto, expand our reach to get onto every player there is, because people consume on, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, all those hubs, and it's easy to get on there. So thank you, Libsyn. We appreciate you. But should we start jumping in here and mixing in a couple of the audio-based recordings as well as some questions coming in? And I thought we could maybe end. We've got sort of 50 random AMA questions to do with video games. I don't know if we need to tackle all 50, but we could try and rapid fire through some of these, or we could just cherry pick and throw them back at each other to sort of round out the episode. What do you think?
Well, let's try and do let's do them quickly. Let's do them down and see if we find interesting ones. We'll skip the ones we don't like because it's our 200 episode.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it that way. I can't wait to hear what everyone's got to say.
All right, let's we haven't listened to any of these recordings too, so we don't know if it's going to be positive press, negative, lots of profanity. So you are hearing this for the first time as we are right now, and we're going to kick things off with our man Dane Peavy. he's forever 8-bit in our hearts, but he's also running a fantastic podcast called Pushing Through Blue, which I recommend everyone to check out. Let's see what you got for us, Dane.
Hello, 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 8-Bit Nation boys and girls. I'm your extremely humble listener, Dane Peavy. 200 episodes. Holy mac and cheese. A massive congratulations, you guys. Well done. That is absolutely huge. Brendan and Ali, I've got no questions to drop on you guys, but I do want to drop in with some love and thank yous. Firstly, a big thank you for showing up each and every week, and sometimes every other week, jumping on the mics, taking time out of your own lives and family time and sharing with us, the rest of us. Passions for all things video games, pop and geek culture related, and everything in between. We love it. It's been so good listening to you guys over the last couple of years, sharing in the laughs, all that banter. You guys give so much love and support around the 8-Bit community. It's so cool. Also want to do a massive shout out to all the other members of the 8-Bit Collective, old and current, that have jumped on the podcast over the years and contributed to the success that is the Hungry Gamers podcast. It's been awesome. It's been so good listening to all the different personalities that have come along the way, all the different opinions, the perspective of people. It's been very, very cool. Finally, I just wanted to give a big shout out, thank you for inspiring and motivating others within the 8-Bit community, including myself along the way, allowing us to start our own podcasts, creating content and start working on those passion projects that we've always wanted to do. And I think you guys should be really proud of that. All right, I'm out of here. So here's to mashed potatoes, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And here's to all the memories, new and old. Much love, you guys. Peace.
Yes, Dane. That
God,
burn right at the end.
Yeah, I was like sort of welling up a little bit, and then and then he got me with the mashed potatoes and the Fraser reference. And I'm like, ugh, that's justified. That is justified. But man, that was a perfect way to start things off.
So sweet. Dane is outright the nicest person, the sweetest, kindest, just generous person that I've ever met. And to hear him say that we do the same, it just doesn't feel like it's on the level. Like, Dane is always there to give and give and give and give, and he gives so much of himself to everyone else. So taking the time to say all those lovely things about us, Dane, we love you.
We really do. We really do. And that sort of stirred up the emotions right off the jump. And we've got a few more to go through yet. So I'm going to be just a puddly mess by the end of all this. So it's very touching, and it's something, I guess, that's still sort of hard to hear or accept, like hearing that you inspire or you motivate and stuff like that. Like, it's as we've sort of said, it's just friends on here riffing about games and life, and for someone to take a positive out of that, or a smattering of inspiration, it's so touching, and it's just still something that's so surreal.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable, but in a good way.
100%. So Dane, thanks again, man. We love you. Hope you and the family are safe, and no doubt you're all smiling, having a great time. But we'll catch up for beer soon. Let's see what our man, who was most recently on an episode a couple of weeks ago now, episode 197, Mr. Matt Tilby, host of Hoop Dreams, as well as One Perfect Game. What do you got for us?
Hey guys, it's Matt Tilby here from Hoop Dreams on the 8-Bit Collective. First of all, a huge congratulations on 200 episodes. That is a massive, massive achievement. I know of plenty of people who could only do a couple of episodes, myself included. So to do 200 and in such a constant stream of them is pretty massive. So well in for that. Just wanted to ask Brendan, actually, where he sees not only the Hungry Gamers, but 8-Bit going in, say, the next year, 5 years. Where do you see the 8-Bit Collective going? And what are your hopes and dreams, your aspirations for the 8-Bit Collective going forward as a whole? Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Well, I think we can both tackle this. So, Tilby, thanks again for the kind words and the question. As we let off, we don't know what any of these questions are going to be, so we haven't had time to prepare answers and formulate nice, fluent responses. So we're sort of shooting from the hip and the heart with a lot of these questions that are coming through. But
very organic.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're about here. Mm-hmm. It's just pure emotion and sort of speaking from the heart and from the head and from the hip, really. So, the 8-Bit and the 8-Bit Collective, like, obviously, there's been a lot of evolution with this platform over the last few years. It started out as just primarily the Hungry Gamers with a little bit of video game reviews and news on the back end. And then it's obviously morphed into now 25 plus content creators, 18 different podcasts under the banner. So it's become a bit of a beast. And I think moving forward, just making sure that everyone's on the same page, that is promoting the same message and mantras, positivity in the community, being there for one another, making good content. I think is the big thing, making content you're proud of, regardless of the audio quality, the video quality. I think just having fun with what we do is the big thing. Like, I know we've tried to probably expand our bandwidth and try and cover written content, video content, blah, 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 blah. But I think just really narrowing that focus and just sort of confirming this is what we're good at. Let's just try and get even better at that. And the other things may or may not come later. So I think just working with good people is the big thing I want, like having a group of just genuinely good people. Like, we might not be the best at podcasting or video content or whatever, but just as long as you can work with people, I think that you consider your friends. You want to be able to have a catch up, have a meal, have a laugh with people through a computer screen, in the flesh, whatever it is, depending on how the world ends. But I think we just want to make good content we're proud of, and relationships we're proud of, I think, is the big thing. Ideally it'd be awesome if we could all be doing this full time and earning a living and just having fun. Like, I can't think of anything better than jumping on a podcast like this every week. And if this was, all we had to do, it would be amazing. Life would be pretty sweet, talking about video games and having a laugh with friends every other day. But that's going to come with time. But yeah, it'd be cool to see us become like a Rooster Teeth light. I know that's ridiculous and crazy, and I think I said the same things I'm putting in work with Jono several years ago, but we're getting there. We're just not making the money that Rooster Teeth is. That's the big difference. But everyone starts somewhere. You got to stay humble, you got to stay hungry. But what about you, Miss Hart? You wanna add anything to this?
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we really want to focus on is you guys, listeners, viewers. Just, we really want to get that engagement with you guys and just see, what do you want out of us? Like, what is it that you expect? Is there something more that you want? Maybe something less that you want? Because we're not here without you guys. And, as much as, we love riffing with each other and talking shit with each other, like, we want to make sure that we're doing the best by you guys as well. So, we're definitely going to have to focus on community and engagement with, like, everyone out there that consumes our work, because you're important to us. And, we won't be here without you.
100%. No, that's perfect. And, like, even if that means potentially scaling back some of the frequencies of podcasts so we can do more with the community, do more gaming community nights, or whether it be, a monthly Zoom call where we just open up and say, anyone wants to come in, have a chat and, have a beer or a water or a laugh or whatever, just things like that. So I think we just need to, focus on that community aspect more. And that's something that Dane was doing so well for us. And we're just trying to, I guess, retool that and get back on the horse and, just make this more about inclusivity and friendship and fun and good banter and just good moments, because you need that with how things are at the moment. So, yeah.
Howdy.
Yeah, but Maddie, thank you so much for the kind words. Hope you're doing well, my fellow Queensland brethren, and be sure to check out Hoop Dreams on the hashtag 8-Bit Collective, the best podcast about NBA in Australia. Wouldn't say the world, because there's a few podcasts I listen to in the NBA that are a bit better than ours, but we're getting there.
Almost.
All right. We're budding. We're striving for the top. Okay, so had a couple of sort of people slide into those Twitter DMs of mine, and the first one was Nicholas Wilder, and he wanted to know, when are we getting some more Clan or Sham?
I fucking hate that show.
Judging by Miss Hart's reaction to that, maybe not anytime soon.
It's okay. I am a sucker for punishment, and was that the one that I was winning, or
You were winning, yeah.
Yeah. So even though I had great success in it, I just like I don't know, maybe you guys as listeners, but putting up with Brendan's like wordplay where you don't have to see his little cheeky smiley pulls when he knows he's caught us on one of his little trickery with words. Like, but yeah,
like
we can definitely bring
web.
it back. We can bring it back.
Yeah, I was debating if we had a game of this for old time's sake, but yeah, like as you said, Clan O'Sham was our sort of humble beginnings and first dip into the game show trivia pool, and now we've got a full-fledged standalone show. Yeah, the Hungry Game Show, for anyone that hasn't listened to it. It's on the same RSS feed, so I don't know why you haven't listened to it, but 5 episodes done now. John O'Peck just did The Last of Us #1, or part 1, if you want to sort of sort of follow in with the same naming conventions with the second one. But yeah, he just finished that episode, and that is available now for everybody on that RSS feed. Episode 6 actually stars Dane Peavy, so get excited for that. And episode 7 is going to be starring Andrew from a couple of NPCs who have our next audio-based send-in.
What's going on, 8-Bit Nation? Andrew Clay Clayton here.
And I'm Alex Blue Shift Andrea. Welcome to episode 200, baby!
Oh man, what a journey it's been. I remember back in the day when we first met Brendan down at Spawn Point in Sydney.
I swear, like, I don't have very clear memories of that night. We were pretty well and truly inebriated. But I swear, I caressed his beard at least once.
Well, can you blame? Like,
I mean, no, I get a little bit handsy when I'm... yeah, I can't help it. I gotta touch a man's face.
And then I do remember we used to play D&D with Ali when NATO used to DM, and I remember getting together at RTX and having like an IRL D&D lunch at Harry's Cafe de Wheels.
Man, back when RTX was a thing, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, like, if you had told me that was Ali's first character, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because, like, she sort of took to it so naturally, especially the roleplay aspect.
Yeah, because I think, like, you could tell she just really enjoyed it, and it was really fun because, like, my character was, like, this real shy, nerdy guy, and she was just like, oh, I guess I'll help him. And she was like my big sister.
Yeah, oh, God. She was like that hard, calloused exterior with a heart of gold.
Oh, we're gonna miss you.
Oh, man. Reminiscing like that, actually, like, it really upsets me, because there's not going to be a PAX 2020, not a live event anyway, and the whole reason I enjoy PAX is meeting up with these people in real life and, you know, exchanging stories, and because these are people we see face to face maybe once a year at best. And
yeah, I miss them so much.
I miss them already.
I miss being back-to-back PAX AGPN game tournament champions. Hashtag Nerdstradamus for the win.
Yeah. I can still hear their voices on iTunes.
Oh, well, thanks for letting us come onto the podcast a few times and coming onto our podcast, and it's been a wild ride. So here's to 200 more. Hashtag stay hungry.
Andrew and Alex.
Those guys.
they are just salt of the earth blokes. Like, they are great dudes. One of the first podcasts that we sort of met during this journey, like, they sort of came up at the same time as we did with THG, and yeah, a couple of legends based out of Sydney. So it was awesome to catch up and have a few beers. And I hazily remember that night that Alex mentioned there was a bit of beard caressing going both ways. And I got photos, I think, on my Instagram of that night, and yeah, we were all looking pretty shady for whenever that time of that photo was taken. But yeah, just legends all around in every aspect. Like good dudes, good content creators, and some of the most infectious energy you'll find in this space. Like, they've just got this like childlike enthusiasm for everything that sort of obviously when you get older that kind of wanes, but they've sort of managed to keep that joy and that spark. And whether you're watching them stream on Twitch or the podcast live on Twitch or listening to it offline, like, they're just good dudes, and you never leave a conversation or an interaction with them feeling down. Like, you know, Andrew probably owns more caps than anyone I know on the face of the earth. Like, he's a stylish fella, but yeah, he's the man of many hats, and they're just great peeps, and yeah, hitting in the feels. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
Yeah, they are like the best dudes. Like, straight up, what you see is what you get, but absolute aura of gold, just both of them, just absolute positive energy. And it's so sweet what they said about me with D&D, because it was my first time, and I felt like a burden because
Never.
I don't know, I was pretty bad. Like, I didn't understand, like, you know, certain rules. I had to keep on asking about, like, certain, can I use this spell while I do this? And can I do this and do that? And I did enjoy, like, begrudgingly becoming, like, big sister role, looking after him. So it's very sweet that you guys actually enjoyed me tagging along. Yeah, I love these guys. I miss them. I remember like eating pizza in the patio of I think it wasn't RTX, it was PAX. So we all got together and ate pizza on that awesome patio that we had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God, the memories.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's shitty that there's going to be no like IRL based events this year, but yeah, hopefully we can try and come together in another way, whether it be a big online meetup or yeah, maybe some of these restrictions change and we can sneak across state lines and try and catch up. We're working on a few things, but it's very much a sort of wait and see depending on how things play out with COVID. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, Andrew, Alex, we love you guys. Hope you're doing well. Hope your families are doing well. And yeah, thanks for coming on the show, baby. All right, the next one comes via @GordonFund on the Twitters, and he goes, "I love the Hungry Gamers, but I just got to know, when is Reese coming back?" Ooh. So yeah, hashtag Kerbo style, Turbo Kerbo _ on the socials. Obviously, we're talking about Reese Kirby, one of the founding fathers of the Hungry Gamers. We'd love to actually get him back on a couple of episodes to guest host and sort of see what he's been up to the last year and a half to 2 years in the gaming space. Like, I see him dabbling, I see him sneaking around Animal Crossing here and there, you know, working on his island and whatnot. So I'll say soon. I think that's a fair response, wouldn't you, Miss Hart?
I think so. Soon is a good response.
Yeah, but yeah, Gordon Fund. Yeah, it's certainly not the last we've seen or heard of hashtag Kerbo style in the THG sphere, but yeah, just keep tuned in, and who knows when or where he's going to pop up. But let's move on to another audio bite.
Hey guys, Roger here, the host of the Button Mash podcast. A big congratulations to the guys over the Hungry Gamers podcast. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you are an absolute inspiration to us all. Congratulations on hitting episode 200, guys. My question to you is, if you were in charge of making a horror game with dinosaurs, what would you call it, and what would be the setting?
So yep, Roger from Button Mash, another fantastic Australian podcast, Australian video game based outlet, who recently celebrated their 100th episode. So shout out to the boys there. I was fortunate enough to guest host on one of their episodes, 80 something or rather it was. Apologies, I can't remember the exact number. It was a hell of a time, but yeah, check out their podcast and also do a bit of video game streaming on the Twitch. And Roger's recently gotten back into doing sort of like a horror theme stream each week. Terrified of horror games, terrified of horror movies. So be sure to tune in and check it out because it is an absolute hoot. So the question, what would you call a horror movie setting with dinosaurs? So where would the movie be set, and what would you call the movie itself?
Movie or game?
Oh, game. Yeah, sorry. See, it's tough because obviously Dino Crisis is what you immediately think of, and then closely followed by maybe Turok. The newer Turoks had a bit of horror element to it, but would it have to be some wordplay based off a dinosaur name? Like,
I'm terrible with dino names. All I care about is the Allosaurus for obvious reasons.
Fantastic carnivore, sort of smaller cousin to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But you know, still does what she needs to.
That's
I
it.
call it a she, by the way, because of obvious reasons. I'm trying to think because like like the games that are out that are dinosaur and horror, like those aren't scary names. Like Dino Crisis.
Like, is it like real cheesy and it's like something to do with like extinction, like modern day extinction? So maybe we sort of steal elements of Jurassic Park and set it in the present day. Someone has managed to bring back dinosaurs, and it's almost set in suburbia. Like we've had a sprinkling of that with Jurassic Park 2, where they bringing the dinosaurs back and whatever else. But yeah, I'm gonna go with like Extinction as the name.
I like Extinction. I think that's a good name. It's just like, it's Extinction. So it's like the dinosaurs are extinct, but they're coming after you, so you're gonna become extinct. So it's good. I like that. I think it should be more survival, like maybe like kind of like Resident Evil-ish, where this evil corporation has been trying to make them like dinosaurs come back to life, and it's gone all crazy, but they're in the middle of the backwoods, and you live out in the woods, and then you've barely got anything on you, so when they come out, you've got to like hide in the dark in the forest while these crazy big creatures are after you.
I love that idea. I think less about like big guns and shooting dinosaurs and more about like hiding and escaping. So think of like some of the elements from like Outlast. So you don't want to go back to the shitty video camera, but like really low light. Like you've got a torch with limited battery life. You got to remain perfectly still. Obviously, if we're going off Jurassic Park logic, T-Rex can't see you unless you're moving. So you got to sit perfectly still. So you could have like the motion controls of like a controller in where you got to sit perfectly
like Until
still.
Dawn?
Yeah. And masking your scent and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like
so,
Predator.
hell yeah, rolling around the mud.
You know what? Copyright. We're just
we're gonna get to work on this immediately, because the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World apparently had some kind of like pseudo thermal vision, which is just we watched that again on the weekend and or during the week, sorry, and look, just knowing how that technology works, like I get really annoyed at myself for then picking apart movies and like when they do sciencey stuff or technology stuff, and I'm like, that's not how it works, that's not right. But anyway, Jurassic World, Indominus Rex.
I also want to throw an Easter egg in this make-believe game where there's like a chicken dinosaur, because I've always loved that concept.
Hell yeah. And maybe we'll see velociraptors like adequately sized to their actual real life size instead of the Jurassic Park build up. But maybe we can convince BD Wong to come in and play the antagonist, Dr. Wu, from Jurassic Park. So try and weave him into the story somehow too. But just a survival horror called Extinction, set in the backwoods of America somewhere. And you're trying to, I guess, maybe stop this corporation from unleashing all these dinosaurs on this sleepy town.
I think that's a good elevator pitch that we're going to have to write down. Copyright, maybe just strike this whole recording. That's it. Episode 200's over. This is vital information.
We're game developers now. All right, so the next write-in, got a little email from a mate of ours, Dylan. We may have heard from him on the podcast several times, and seen him around the traps at various conventions down in Melbourne and in Sydney. So the email reads, to Ali and Brendan, a big congratulations on making it to 200 episodes. It's quite the podcasting achievement. It's been amazing to see you constantly evolve from your humble beginnings in Reese's bedroom to the well-oiled Hungry HQ internet machine we see today. Thank you for being a weekly supply of laughs, support, and gaming news. Your podcasts help pass the time, but also help me through some difficult life situations. Much love. Stay hungry. Your friend, Dylan.
Dylan's OG. I'm trying to think that I think it was RTX.
RTX, yeah.
Yeah, and we went and got ribs, or I got ribs.
Yeah, well, we went to Pancake Parlor or whatever it is, but had ribs, yeah.
Pancakes on the rocks.
Yeah.
And we all got ribs, or oh no, someone got pancakes.
I got pancakes. I got the Strawberry Patch pancakes. That's my go-to when I go there.
Do you understand how stupid it is that you were the person that got the pancakes and everyone else got... okay.
Yeah, everyone else got big meaty servings of deliciousness, and I'm eating pancakes with strawberries and cream on top.
Strawberry pancakes, yeah. But yeah, it was great to finally meet Dylan, because I believe most of it was like social interactions online. And then to, finally meet Dylan in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a bunch of times afterwards as well.
Yeah, no, really, really, really good dude. And just got a good heart. And one of our biggest supporters since the jump. And sort of been our podcast fan, listener, friend, ride or die since our inception in Reese's hot sweatbox bedroom way back when. That was tough sledding recording in there, let me tell you. And then even in the Strathfield bedroom that had no aircon either, that got pretty hot in there during those summer months.
It did. And then the table that we kept on getting hooked onto.
Yep. Yeah, dreaming my craftsmanship is not the best.
You both were so proud of that, and maybe I did have the heart to tell you how shit it was, but...
Yeah, you did. We needed that, though.
It scraped me so many times.
Yeah, it's somewhere getting used as landfill these days. So rest in peace, Nameless Table. We'll never forget you due to the fact that you've probably left some permanent scars on all of us.
Yep.
But let's pull into the next audio-based plug here. This is coming via way of Zach from News to Reviews.
Hello, this is Zach and Lockie here from News to Reviews.
We just want to congratulate you on turning 200. You're now older than the Queen.
Oh yeah, bloody love the Hungry Game crew. Never stop making this show.
Bicentennial.
Zach and Lockie, they are two gems. News to Reviews has been kicking around now for sort of about 6 or so months. But Zach, I haven't sort of chatted with Lockie personally yet, but from listening to their show and just getting that energy, he's a good dude as well. And I don't think Zach hangs out with bad people. But two legends, two up and comers, and older than the Queen, bicentennial, all about that. But check out News to Reviews on all, obviously, the socials, as well as giving them a listen. I think we're slated to jump on a future episode maybe at the back end of this month. But they've been getting so many guests on their show in such a short amount of time. Like, our, 17 guests or whatever we said, they're going to sort of trump that probably within their first year of podcasting.
Yeah.
So they are all about the collaboration and the networking, and that's a big part of podcasting, I think. But Zach and Lockie, love you. Thanks for thanks for that fantastic message.
They don't need no soundboard.
They do not. Yeah, they sort of don't need no roadcaster. They've got it all just straight out of the vocal cords. So love you guys. Hope you're staying safe out there. And if we're sort of gonna move on down, we've got a couple more audio based plugs, but I wanted to pull up a tweet here from Dem Fancy Productions, which you can follow at Dem DEM Fancy on the Twitters. And they ask, throughout your entire podcast journey, what has been your personal highlight? An episode, a segment, something that made you think, I'm really proud of what we just did. Much love. Miss Hart, do you want to lead this one off?
The thing that I've been most proud of was being able to use our platform, especially for charity. I can't remember if it was the generosity stream where we got in there and diffused a bomb and...
Yeah, that was generosity.
Yeah, and the chaos that ensued, but what we were able to do to help to reach their donation goals and such was just extremely rewarding. And same as having the opportunity to yell at Sam.
Any excuse to yell at Sam is a good excuse in my book.
But no, honestly, it's always it's honestly great to have this platform and have a positive impact on people, but then being able to do just that little bit more and help people less fortunate and such has been obviously a big plus, and hope to do it even more.
100%. Giving back is something that I think everybody needs to do more of in general. And being able to get a little bit crazy, like that generosity, those generosity streams were insane. The second one that we did, or was it the first? I can't remember if it was the second or the first one that was, I think it was the second one where we got extremely drunk in the space of an hour.
That was the second one. I was not there. That's why I know. That's why I remember it.
Yeah, that was huge. seeing our fans and even people that didn't know us turn up to throw money towards the charities we're trying to raise money for, just off, I guess, the energy and the insanity that we sort of were showing in those generosity streams. You know, it really, really touched, I think, a lot of us in a lot of good ways, just sort of seeing that community, that sense of community, you know, unite for a common cause. Like, sure, we had some fun and did some dumb things with alcohol, and I still, you know, I forget sometimes that I've got like 15 random people's names tattooed on me forever off the back of those generosity streams. I
completely forgot about that.
But seeing them sometimes, it's like, you know, always brings a smile to my face, you know, where I've got Ben Tato's tattooed on me, or, you know, NATO was tattooed on me. And that was before we really knew NATO. You know, the Reset podcast logo's tattooed on me forever. The Spawn Point game bar tattooed their logo on me. Like, it's just these random things where you think, man, what was I thinking at the time? And like, yeah, for most people, it's just a dumb nothing tattoo, but being able to sort of have that memory in a time capsule based off those tattoos is really nice. And remember doing the, when we went out and did some stuff with the Starlight Foundation and, you know, did some podcasting and gaming with the kids out there. That was probably my favorite overall. I'd say that few hours we did out at the Starlight Foundation with the kids and just sort of seeing them come out of their little shells. Obviously, when three random adults they've never met in their life are sort of saying, you know, tell us about yourself on a microphone that they've never done before. Like, it's pretty big for kids to sort of open up, especially people they don't know, but then just, I guess, getting them to peel back the layers and talk gaming and what they do and how they are, and just seeing, you know, the strength they had with all the hardship they're going through, these poor little kids. And I guess being able to just be real with them and have a laugh and play some games and stuff. I think that's probably my proudest and favorite moment over the last, you know, 4.5 years or whatever it's been. Obviously the friends we've made along the way, the group that we've created, and seeing this little outlet grow and you know, more people get on board and enjoy what we do is extremely humbling and touching as well. But I think those times where we're able to give back is certainly my sort of favorite moments as well. And it's nice, you know. We sit on here and have fun and be silly and you know, unpack video game stuff, but being able to have a little bit more real life moments attached to it is it's been really fun. Been really good.
It's been really, really good. And FYI, I got my ass kicked by those kids playing Mario Kart.
They were so good.
They were too good.
But shout out to everybody involved in, you know, in the Starlight Foundation that are doing that every day. You know, the carers and the workers. Like, we only got a small taste of it, but I really want to do more of that moving forward. Obviously, with the way the world is right now, it's tough, but hopefully when things get a little bit more settled, we could look at maybe trying to get more involved and help in that regard, because we've, you know, any content creator's got a platform, so use that platform for good, I think.
Definitely.
I don't think I know. Anyone that's not, fuck off. All right. Next audio bite coming via way of our man Dash, obviously dashgamer.com. You can find this legend and his crew at.
Hello, my hungry fam. It's Dash. Congratulations on reaching 200 episodes of the Hungry Gamers podcast, you guys. Such an amazing milestone to reach. I hope you guys are doing real well. I miss you all. I got a question for you today. Looking back on the many memories shared amongst the Hungry crew and the collective, what moment would you classify as pivotal to the success of the Hungry Gamers, 8-Bit, and the contributors of the 8-Bit Nation? I hope you guys are having a blast recording this episode. I miss your faces, and I hope to talk to you soon. Congratulations again, guys.
Beautiful words. And Dash was a key cog in this machine. Did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with graphics and videos. Like, he's a savant in that digital marketing and art space. Like,
crazy, super talented.
100%. And doing fantastic things over there at dashgamer.com. So be sure to creep on over there and give him some follows, some likes, some ratings, reviews, all that good stuff. But the most pivotal moment to our success, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of our stuff is just like, is like gradual. Like every little step is just like, you know, was it like the moss on a boulder? Like it just like as it keeps rolling, it just kind of gets bigger. And then sometimes it gets so big where we kind of take a step back and we look at it and we go, oh shit, like, you know, like this is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's
I think
crazy.
One thing that I guess comes to mind is various outlets approaching us to sort of be part of 8-bit. I think that's been a bit of a big moment where you think, wow, we're actually, you know, we're doing something here, or we're well regarded by our peers and they want to jump in and get involved and help build this beast. So I think that is a big moment. But I think as far as pivotal to our success, the new and noteworthy on iTunes probably helped. The fact that we were new and noteworthy for like 2 years or something, which, you know, is still pretty crazy. Yeah. So I think that probably really helped springboard us into a lot of people's minds and ears as far as getting that reach and that visibility. And then maybe even when we sort of started working with Audio Technica, like reaching out to them to say, hey, we love your product. We've been using your product since our first episode. We'd love to try and work with you in a more official capacity. And then for them to turn around and say, mate, we love you guys. We've been listening to you for a while. You know, completely off the cuff, completely unknown that we even were in their stratosphere. And having them be a partner of the Hungry Gamers and 8-bit, since that was maybe about episode 30, it was somewhere around there, you know, somewhere in the 20 to 30s where we made that contact. And, you know, Matt and Lily and his team have been nothing but supportive of us and providing us, you know, the fantastic opportunities, fantastic equipment. And it's a lot of love. Like Matt's become one of my best mates over the years, and love that little fella. Even though he's now a vegan soy boy, you know, I miss our burger and steak and rib dates. But you know, I still love you just the same. I just need to find you a plant-based patty now, but we'll get there. But yeah, I think they're probably the things that stick out for me the most.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best like way to kind of pinpoint certain moments in time. But I mean, like we've always said, like each and every time when we kind of see like moments of like growth, success and everything, we're always in disbelief. Like it's unreal. It's really great, but it's like really unreal. Yeah,
100%. So yeah, still such a big surprise and a shock to us all as far as that reach and exposure and appreciation we receive, because yeah, we're just a couple of people talking video games when it's what it comes down to, and that seems to resonate with a lot of you, and yeah, it's extremely touching. Got a couple of questions from Pedro here. The first question: what one single sentence would your 200th episode self tell your episode 1 self about the podcast? So that's the first question. And the second question, so we've got a bit of time to mull over question number 1, is what is your biggest Eat Crow moment among your 200 episodes? So for those that don't know what Eat Crow is, it's sort of like your most humbling experience based because you were so far wrong from the truth, like a hot take or an opinion where you're like, this is going to be the worst and ends up being the best type of thing where you got to go, shit, I royally ballsed up that thought process there, or did something really wrong. That's what Eat Crow is. So a single sentence would you tell your 200 episode self? I'd say, like, I don't want to say stay hungry because we say that all the time, but I think just keep doing what you're doing. You know, be proud of the content you're putting out. It might not always be perfect. You know, it's tough to be, you know, flawless in your delivery with content creation, but just keep having fun. Just enjoy the time that you spend with your friends on a weekly basis, and yeah, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Mine would probably be much along the same of like, yes, it's a podcast, but it'll mean so much more than you could imagine. Also, aircon.
Yes. Yeah. Capital letters, aircon.
Aircon.
Size 20 font, bold, underline.
It's gonna get hot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, and I think that's something that any content creator could sort of take away is just, keep your head down, stay in your lane, be true to yourself, be true to your beliefs and what you're trying to get out there, and just be proud of what you do, regardless of if it is, the audio quality is not the best, or the video quality is not the best, or the logo isn't where you want it to be right now. Just get that content out there and get it to the masses and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And the biggest eat crow moment among your 200 episodes. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one because there's been a lot of things that I've been right about.
Yeah. I think from a game or a sort of publisher or a developer perspective, my blind love for BioWare has probably hurt me recently with Anthem and with Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm pretty sure I was singing both of those games' praises to the rooftops leading up to launch, and then playing the Anthem beta especially. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is going to be sick. And then the game came out for both those IPs, and it was just wah, wah, wah. So, yeah, I think they're probably my biggest eat crow moments. One that's probably not confirmed just yet, but a few games that I had on my list for my 2020 fantasy draft are probably going to end up being eat crow moments next year, because it looks like they're going to be 2021 releases. But yeah, I think just my rose-colored glasses for BioWare, where I sort of almost preach and promote that they can do no wrong, yet they're doing a lot of wrong to a lot of fans. So that's probably it from just sort of thinking, off the cuff. There's probably more that I could formulate responses to, but I think that's been mine overall.
I can't pinpoint like exact moments, but I know that there's been times where I'll be like, yeah, no, that game's not for me, and then I play it, I'm like, that game is for me. Like the most recent one that I can think of was when I was talking about Frostpunk.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, people recommended it to me. I understand why, but it's not for me. It's it's got all these restrictions. It's blah, blah, blah. It's a good game, but yeah, not for me. I won't play it ever again. And then proceed to like move forward like 2 weeks, and I'm like, so I'm like 30 hours in, and like I straight up like had to like eat my words because I just fucking played the shit out of it. And I feel like I've done that with a few games where I've kind of like said, like, maybe not. And then I've just been straight up wrong and been like, yeah, no, this game is the shit. It's awesome. So,
yeah. And it happens, like,
it happens.
Like PR companies are good at what they do for a reason. So you see these trailers and these initial teasers and you're like, oh yeah, oh nah. Like, and it can sort of shape your opinion before you even pick up a controller or a keyboard. So
if people can prove me wrong, like, please do. Because all I can ever keep thinking about is the moments where I've said, like, I think this is going to be shit, and it's going to be shit. I guess No Man's Sky, I don't know if I said it was going to be a good game, but I know I had absolute hopes for it being a beautiful game, and it obviously didn't turn out the way we all wanted it to. So
yeah, there's still a lot of people very upset and hurt off the back of Hello Games and No Man's Sky, but for all intents and purposes, it seems good these days. I'm not going back, but it seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think I want to go back. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, and from a sort of, I guess, 8-bit or THG perspective, just thinking about it, maybe, I don't know if it's an eat crow moment per se, but the closest I could think of is maybe just some of the promises I made at the time about whether be bringing out a certain type of content or playing a new game and just not getting there. So it's more of like an eat crow moment, as in just I'm owning up to my bad. I know I said I was going to do this, or I had the ambition to bring this out or get this done, and it just never sort of comes to fruition. So that's another one where I'm just like, I probably need to be, wind back my optimism and yes man mentality for a lot of things, and just be realistic with what I can take on board is the other part.
I'm guilty too. I've gone on about making video content, but some of us have shit in our heads that tells us otherwise.
Yeah.
But I promise we will get there.
I feel you. But I've got one other soundbite here to weave in for now. I saw this because it was actually sent as a video, and I had to convert it to an MP3.
A video.
And yeah, it's just some ranting. He messaged me and sort of said he wanted to send something in, and bless his heart. So this is Panda TV, formerly Chinglish, wanted to send in some kind words, but yeah, he sort of misinterpreted, and he sort of was talking about 8-bit as a whole as opposed to the Hungry Gamers. But yeah, I thought I'd chuck it in here anyway because he's a funny fella.
Hi everyone, I'm making this video for everyone over at 8-bit. A huge shout out to you guys for your 200th episode. I know Brendan and I have been trying to get me on one since about mid last year, but as he knows, I'm pretty much useless. But a huge shout out to everyone over there. Brendan, man, friends for coming up to probably 20 years of our lives or 18 years of our lives. You look after me more than most people. There's nothing else I can say that you don't already know. Thank you. Congratulations on the 200th episode. Absolutely awesome to see. And again, shout out to everyone else over there. 200 episodes, it's huge. I'll probably make it on by about the 317th. Somewhere around there. Bye.
You lovable idiot.
At least he's being realistic with his, possible appearance.
Yeah, like I love him, and yeah, I've known him for the vast majority of my life, and even my whole adult life. So yeah, I know his clock runs different to most. So trying to schedule him for podcasts has been nigh impossible. We'll get there eventually. I wanted to get him on THG as well as do an 8-bit cast AMA that I've got questions for that I've had ready for maybe a year now.
Wow.
So we'll get there eventually. But just I appreciate him for taking the time out to say g'day and shout us out, even though 200 episodes for 8-bit. I'm like, come on, man. I love it.
Shout out to everyone in 8-bit. We get 200.
Yeah, it's a collective 200. Okay, so we've got one last soundbite to play on episode 200, and this one comes by none other than Benny McJanet, aka the Spawny 13, one of the founding fathers and crew within the 8-bit community. He's a key cog. I've known him for the better part of my life, to be honest. We started in the same professional industry together way back when, so I've known Benny since I was about 19. Let's see what he's got to give to us today for episode 200. Fingers crossed he doesn't be mean to me.
Hello 8-bit Nation, and congrats to all upon reaching episode 200. For those that don't remember me, my name's Benny. You've probably seen me around a few places in 8-bit, most recently as a Wookiee in Hand-Rolled First and as a Cowardly Werewolf in Welcome to Knobswitch. However, depending on how long you have been listening to the show, you may not have seen me here. You see, it has now been officially 100 episodes since my last appearance on this very podcast. Episode 100 was so long ago, so what happened? Well, as episode 200 began to approach, I started asking myself the same question. Back in the early days of THG, the cast recorded live in person in Sydney. I was lucky enough to be on episode 35, but then I didn't make another appearance until 84, for THG's first PAX episode, in fact. I thought maybe it was because of my support for Salim the Dream in the early days of Clan El Sham that may have made Kerbo not like me very much and not want me on the podcast. But he left not long after in search of bigger and better things. Side note, Kerbo, love you, mate. Miss hearing your voice on the regular. So then episode 100 came around and Dream made specific mention of my hair and how jealous he was. So the nickname GC Fabio was born. Clearly that was the reasoning for my long hiatus from the show, I began to think. Also, Dream, I miss hearing you too. But then something occurred to me. The PAX 2018 episode. The recording is long thought lost, never to see the light of day. But I think I see the truth, dear listener. For you see, it has been the not-so-humble host Brendan himself keeping me from the show. In 2018, my beard was long and luscious, and I was preparing to shave it off in the name of charity. Brendan couldn't stand the thought of me getting more attention for my beard than he does for his, so the recordings were misplaced. A likely story. Then there was a time I was supposed to record an episode with Ali and Brendan in 2019. That got cancelled last minute. I mean, surely Brendan still wouldn't have such a deep-seated jealousy this long that he would rather cancel an episode than allow another bearded warrior on the show. Would he? I mean, we could blame Ali, but she's far too nice. It would never... Unless... Nah, not Ali. So, congrats on 200 episodes, guys. I'm proud of you all. And Brendan, I'm on to you, mate.
The cat is out of the bag. I have some really big time beard envy.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Brendan. I'll take the rap. I'm the one with the beard envy. I'm the one with the hair envy. It's always been me. That's the plot twist.
That's a big thing to admit to, too. It's not easy to highlight and magnify your insecurities and your potential traumas. And yeah, I guess maybe we're in the same boat. Like, he does have a luscious head of hair. Like, for a man that's nearly 50, his hair is so fantastic. And he's still styling, and he does have a very nice beard. I will admit that. And it's a lot less grey than mine. So maybe he's onto something here. Maybe there is some sort of thing deeply rooted in my psyche where I'm like, I need to forbode him from coming onto the THG in case he outshines us. But no, Benny, in all seriousness, mate, we do love you. We do adore you. And we do need to get you back on here. I know we talked about it last year, and then, yeah, scheduling didn't work out. And just in typical fashion, it's just tunnel vision, keep moving forward and sort of only think about it when it's brought up, I guess. So, yeah, you've been on a good half a dozen episodes. I think he's been on one since episode 100, though. Benny, I think you're getting your numbers wrong, and you can calm that farm ever so slightly. But yeah, he's using his talents now for the greater role playing good. And as you mentioned, yeah, he's a core crew member of Han Rolled First, as well as a sexy werewolf in Welcome to Knobswitch, which every time I say that name, I sort of smile and giggle internally because I'm an immature 30-something-year-old. But yeah. Thank you for those kind words. I don't know if I can completely confirm the conspiracy theories, but I do love me a good conspiracy theory. So maybe we'll let the listeners think about that, where the fact or fiction in as far as which one of us has the beard or hair envy. Was it both of us? Depending on the day, who knows?
Definitely. I'm still trying to grow mine out to this day, and it will never be as good.
Yeah, mine's just getting whiter and whiter by the second as I look at myself through the webcam and get a little bit sadder. I don't mind a bit of salt and pepper, but it's just getting more salty. And I guess that's maybe me in a nutshell too. Maybe I'm just getting old and bitter, and it just reflects in my mop and my face mop.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, that brings us to the end just about of the listener fan friend send-ins. So I thought we could maybe mix it up a little bit and throw some questions at one another from a couple of sort of video game AMAs that I sort of dug around. I found an absolute bucket load of questions. A lot of them were kind of crappy, so we've cherry-picked maybe the best ones, I think you'd say, wouldn't you?
I think so, yeah, of the bunch, yeah.
Yeah, so we might get a little bit of music to sort of amplify the tension and the stress of this little bit of sort of Q&A that we're gonna go upon now. So let's get it on. Ooh. The first question, pretty simple one: favorite video game franchise of all time. Miss Hart, what do you got?
To no shock to anyone, it's going to be Destiny. I only say it's Destiny because I've played this game from like beta, like first OG beta, and I'm still playing it, and I'm still like deep into it. I always love it, even through the dark times. So, you know, I have other franchises that I do like, but I wouldn't say that I like them from start to finish. So I'm sticking with Destiny as my all-time fave.
It's funny because, like, obviously we talk about Destiny a lot, and I know that you love the franchise, but I guess it surprised me that it's your all-time. But then I'm like, you know what, it makes sense because
like,
there's so much love.
Well, I like, you know, there's things that I do love. Like I do love Sonic. Like, Sonic's been a part of my life, especially like early childhood. But I'm not like, I haven't played any of the recent games, you know, like, and there's like other franchises where I've, you know, kind of delved into, but I wouldn't say I've played it all. I haven't gotten deep into the lore of it, you know. So Destiny is
you are all in.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. So mine's Mine's a coin toss depending on the time of day. So I've gone with Mass Effect, we're talking the trilogy, Andromeda, get out of here. And then just the Resident Evil franchise as a whole. So depending on how I'm feeling, I'd sort of lean one way or another. Funnily enough, Mass Effect 2 and Resident Evil 2 are my favorite titles from those respective franchises. So I'm going to go with those two as my favorites and sort of cheat and have a joint winner. But it's how I roll in all of these games. I skirt the rules as best I can. So next question, if you had to live in the world of the last video game that you played, what world would that be? So mine would be a post-apocalyptic America, because I haven't played anything since The Last of Us Part 2. So I would be roaming around the late 2030s, avoiding the infected and avoiding fireflies and the WLF and the scars and just trying to stay alive as I maybe hunt for some new guitar strings. What about you? Where would you be living?
The last game I actually played is one of my little comfort chill out games, which was Banished. And so that actually has me set in like the 1500s, 1600s, like in a remote lush green valley. But I'm, some average Joe that has to build a community from scratch. So I'm either in a mine, cutting a tree on a farm. So it might be nice. I might also get the plague.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right, so we'll sort of flip that question on its head and go, if you could live in any world from any video game, what would it be and why? Do you want to lead this one off, or do you want me to sort of throw an idea?
Yeah, what's your idea?
This is a tough one, and see, there's so many great universes out there, but I thought you could go one of two ways. I thought you could go like Stardew Valley world and just have a nice, relaxed farm life where there's some dramas and some pitfalls you could face when you go into the mines, but it seems like an overall pretty bright, shiny area. But
it's labor, like it's work.
And there is a lot of labor involved, but working off the land, I wouldn't mind getting some calluses and working hands and all that, as opposed to these soft salesman hands. But otherwise, I'd love to do sort of the Wild West, so Red Dead Redemption-esque world, I think would be pretty cool. And then the other one, as I'm just thinking ahead, would be you go the other direction, you go cyberpunk and you're in the near future and whatnot. But we don't know. We see how that world is, and we see a lot of seedy underbelly. But I hope there's some nice drama-free regions. So that's where I'm at. I'm jumping between those three.
Yeah, because I want to say Destiny, because I've always said the game, like just the environment, the galaxies in the distance, it's just absolutely beautiful in that game. But really, the galaxy's in turmoil, so I wouldn't get to enjoy it. So I thought about it, and I'm actually thinking maybe Pokemon.
Oh, good call.
Because there's cute creatures everywhere, and you can actually communicate with them. You can talk to them, and they kind of get back to you. The food always looks good, and you don't really need a job, or you can have some really easy throwaway job, like a Pokemon trainer or a flower person, or a nursery. You look after Pokemon,
You can make serious bank just being a Pokemon trainer. You just roll around your town, just beating people in battles, and they just throw you money.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's probably one of the easiest ones.
One thing on that regard, you never see them eating a Pokemon, do you?
But apparently,
where do they get their meat from?
Well, apparently they eat Farfetch'd. Look that up.
Oh, that's right.
That's why he's holding a leek. They usually serve it with a leek.
There you go.
It's a food that comes to you with its side, or its season.
Yeah. It's such there's so much darkness hidden amongst that game.
Yeah.
Or that franchise, that anime or that film or whatever you want to sort of typecast it as. But I actually wouldn't mind living in Pokemon World too. I'd love to be cruising around with little animal sidekicks.
Yeah.
If Winnie and Bentley could be my little Pokemon sidekicks, and we just roll around, fight people, have a laugh, and then just kick it at Pallet Town or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got your bike, you can ride your bike around, and then apparently your bike turns into something that can paddle in the water. Life's great.
Yeah, you can fly on your Pokemon, you can cut stuff.
Just cut stuff?
Just cut stuff,
Who needs scissors?
Exactly. Just, hey, Pokemon, cut my paper. All right. Have you ever broadcast yourself on Twitch, YouTube, etc., etc.?
I did. I did for 2 weeks just to get my affiliate status so I could have my own emotes.
And you know what? You got there.
And I got there. I have thought about going back, which I might, but yeah, I've got my affiliate, so I've got my own emotes.
You know what? That's a win in my books.
Yeah.
That is a big win in my books. But I'd say yes, we have. Like, obviously, you can see our mugs and hear our voices on some various videos at youtube.com/weare8bit.
That's true.
And have dabbled on a couple of charity streams, things that we spoke of earlier in the show. And then, we did some streaming for a few months there, Rach and I, with Open House. So, yeah, been around the traps, been on a few streams, been on a few YouTube videos. So, yeah, can be found out there on the internet in the archives somewhere. Speaking of archives, going back into video game history, is there particular games or games in general maybe that have made you cry during your experience of playing them? Are you a crier in video games, and if so, what do you remember?
I try my best to avoid if I think I'm gonna cry in a video game. So the biggest is like if a dog is the main character in the video game, so I'm not gonna play that. But the one that I actually remember like legit making me cry was I didn't play it. I watched a playthrough of it. It's that Dragon Cancer.
Yeah.
That story.
Ooh, yeah.
Because he won that award for the game or the story, or and I was like, okay, I'm really curious about it because his speech was quite gut wrenching. Like, you're crying and everyone in the audience is crying. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. Oh my gosh, it's a great story, and it's but I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah, I played through that game and it mucked me up from very early in the piece all the way through. I think it ended up being maybe a 4-hour run through, I think, maybe less potentially. It wasn't a huge game, but you're not playing it obviously for the longevity. You're playing it for the social commentary and the emotional impact that it had. So yeah, that Dragon Cancer certainly comes to mind, but truth be told, I cry at a lot of things. I cried watching American Idol the other night.
What?
So it was just, there was a really, really touching story on there, and it just got me in the feels. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit a bit raw and sensitive more than ever these days. So got me.
I do get upset when Facebook recommends those dodo videos of like abandoned dogs and then getting their next happy home.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It gets you. And video games is the same. Like, I shed a few tears while playing The Last of Us Part 2 recently. There's a lot of games. Any games with those big emotional payoffs or big emotional punches that get thrown typically stir something up in me, and I get a little bit sooky. So any game like that, there's a pretty high chance that I might have shed a tear. Just a bit of dust in the air at the time just gets me every time. So yeah. All right, next question. What is your favorite video game genre?
Ooh. I mean, I feel like it would be like first-person shooter, but then I also have that soft spot for like city builders simulators. So it'd have to be between those two.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I'm feeling sort of like action adventure / RPG is sort of typically where I find my comfort food. So any mixture of that, like I love a good shooter, love a good sim game. Don't mind the occasional sports game, but yeah, give me that action RPG adventure sort of mix, and I'll be a very happy camper. All right, a little bit of a different question. Keep, trade, cut. So you got to keep one of these, trade away one of these, and cut one of these. We're talking burgers, pizza, and chicken wings. Ooh. This is tough because these things are pillars in the food community. These are like deities that I worship on the regular. It's tough.
It wasn't hard for me.
Okay, I'm almost like I'm gonna cut chicken wings. I love chicken wings, but they're gone. I don't care
about chicken wings, so I've cut them. Okay. I cut them as well.
You've cut them as well. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep burgers because that could encompass chicken burgers, beef burgers, and all the other side flavors.
Okay.
But I love pizza, so I don't know what I'm trading pizza for, but I'm keeping burgers.
This is how it works, right? Because I said keep pizza. I think keep pizza, trade burgers. And if you trade your pizza with my burger, we trade them out. Like, you know.
And we didn't even rehearse or
No.
discuss that question,
No.
and it just worked out.
Yeah.
All right, that is a win. That is a win. I gotta ask too. What's your go-to pizza topping?
Oh, people are gonna hate me. I judge a place purely based on how they do like a cheesy garlic pizza.
Mhm.
Like if you,
No, I think that's valid.
If you can nail that, then usually I'm okay to try everything else. But my staple to try any new pizza place is just a cheese garlic pizza.
I love when you go to a pizza restaurant and you order a garlic bread in whatever form it comes, but when it's a garlic pizza as opposed to just a loaf or whatever, it makes me so happy, and I know that I'm onto a good thing before I even get to the main course.
Yeah.
So, all right, next question: do you prefer multiplayer games or to go solo?
I think I prefer multiplayer because of like first-person shooters are usually just more fun, like with like friends and other people. But then like my builder games are always solo, so
Depends on the day.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm similar, but ultimately I'd probably go solo. I love the big narrative. I love the big journey, that sort of evolution of the character and the high points and the low points and that big payoff. I love that, but I also love the feeling of playing online shooters and stuff together and taking down a raid boss or winning a match, a team deathmatch or whatever it is. Next question: do you prefer co-op or player versus player?
I always had a soft spot for co-op, but I feel like co-op games are few and far between nowadays. So, but I'm gonna still say co-op. If they existed still, I would say co-op.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that game franchise that you adore so much, I think it's got a bit of both of this. Like obviously, you got your player versus player in Crucible and Gambit and whatnot, but then you do have that co-op experience where you can roam around the planets together and kill the baddies. So I'm more of a co-op guy myself. I love being able to sort of experience a story together, or knock off some bad guys and share that journey. So give me some co-op. All right, so this next question is a little bit open-ended because it doesn't really define if they existed in the first place, but it says, if video games didn't exist anymore, what would you do? So you could interpret this as they existed once and now they don't, and we can be really sad, or they never existed and it's just you never know.
Yeah. Well, if like video games just stopped existing, like I feel like I'm like, okay, what were the other hobbies that I kind of gave up on? And the one that like I think of the most was like music, like learning a musical instrument. If it was a case of like video games like never existed, so I don't know if that would be possible, because the reason why I learned the piano was to play the Final Fantasy X theme, the Tzanikin. So I don't know if I'd actually pick up the piano after that, if that didn't exist.
That's fantastic. Yeah, maybe you just start learning like theme songs from television shows or something like
jingles,
that.
Yeah.
Bit of jingles, yeah. Yeah, I sort of thought similar. I thought I'd pick up an instrument. I always wanted to learn an instrument, probably like just the cliched old acoustic guitar. But I'd obviously then have no excuses not to learn a language. I've been saying I've wanted to learn French since I was probably 20 years old. So get a little bit of bilingual action going on. Probably cook more, probably read more. All these things that are generally good and probably better for you long term. No,
video games are great. Hand-eye coordination, social interaction,
muscle memory.
Yeah, all the things we convince ourselves.
Yeah, if we knew they existed and then they're gone, we'd probably have a big eulogy and we'd be mourning for quite a while. Yeah. But if we never did, I'd just be doing lots of things.
We do have like if it existed, then you have all your like clips and everything that you once had, right?
Yeah. I'd say so. Maybe it's all just in like an e-library known as Twitch or YouTube.
True.
All right. Which video game character do you most wish you were like?
How about you first?
This was a tough one because there's sort of like parts I like and dislike from so many characters. Like the cliched Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, but then it's like, well, you can sort of shape that character how you want it to be as well. You could go Paragon Renegade, so you sort of almost become that character in essence anyway. So I'm like, maybe. Geralt from The Witcher is just a bit of a dude.
Yeah.
I think Geralt's one of them because he's very no nonsense. kicks a lot of ass.
Yeah, straightforward.
Very straightforward, but he does have a bit of a heart, you know. His relationship with Ciri and Tristan Yen and other people in the franchise. You can see he's got a bit of heart behind that tough exterior. So probably Geralt. I think we could probably learn a few things from him. He's very simple in life and just no nonsense. And you know, he says what he is and he is what he says. So I'm going to go with Geralt.
Yeah, this is a difficult one because you kind of like, you're trying to think like, do I want their personality traits? Do I want to just look like them? Do I want their power? Like, the only one I could think of like that's a good combo of everything that I personally would want to be. I was thinking like Bayonetta, because like she's like the right combo of like sexy, sassy, badass, smart. Like she's just a good like encompassing of all that. So I think that she would be perfect, although I have always wanted to be a Goron from Zelda just because.
Okay.
Just round rock person, hanging out, rolling around whenever I want.
Just hanging out, living that best life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's so many great characters you could draw from for that. Yeah. So I don't think there's right or wrong answers. Listeners, if you got some feedback on which character you think you'd love to be most like or wish you were, hit us up. Hello at 8bit on the emails. Obviously at We Are 8bit on the socials. All right, next question. Who is your favorite video game villain and why? So I got two here.
Mm-hmm.
I got I had to sort of reference and shout out Albert Wesker from the Resident Evil series, who obviously he led the STARS team in the original game, but we found out he was a double agent with Umbrella. He's been in so many Resident Evil games, constantly scheming and plotting and just being a badass. You end up killing him in Resident Evil 5 with rockets and bullets, and a volcano ultimately stops him. Like, this dude cannot be killed. So Albert Wesker and his sunglasses and his very slick hair.
Mm-hmm.
But the other mention that I wanted to sort of highlight, I'm going to go the Joker from the Arkham series.
Oh yeah.
Voiced by Mark Hamill. I just thought every time he was on screen, he was, stealing the spotlight. Like the cackle that he had, that laugh and demeanor he had was so good. And Mark Hamill is such a very talented voice actor, obviously very talented actor in his own right as well, but yeah, the Joker, he just overshadowed everybody in that entire franchise, I think.
Yeah.
And sign me up for some more psychotic Joker.
A lot of people actually say that those games were actually about the Joker and not Batman at all. Like, it was mostly Joker focused. So, but he did so good. Like, I love Asylum and City. Fantastic games. I was trying to think which villain really lasted with me, which one really made an impact, and I'm gonna say it was actually Vass from Far Cry 3.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He was a bit of a badass.
Yeah, like the character really felt honest and really was played perfectly. I know the actor he really got into that role. His demo reel, he was him. He was the character, and they just went, "Yep, that's him." And that does that monologue, the definition of insanity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best pieces of writing in video games right there.
Yeah. So he's just evil, charismatic, and he just had a really lasting impression on me.
Yeah. No, good call. Good call indeed. All right, so moving on to the fourth last question.
Ooh.
If you could have anyone guest on The Hungry Gamers, who would it be and why?
Are we talking real life or?
Either or. I sort of went the real life route. So I sort of had three names I listed. First one, Phil Spencer, just to keep up with my ribbing and sort of love affair with Phil. I just think he's a dude and be cool to shoot the shit. And then afterwards maybe have that beer that he's been promising me for so long. Mike Patton is another one I wanted to mention. The front man from Faith No More, who is also, Mr. Bungle, Phantom Ass, and Tomahawk, and a gajillion other musical outlets. Very, very polarizing figure in the musical space. One of the founders of the alternative genre. And then obviously now he's doing musical scores and voice work. He did the score for The Darkness, that sort of real gangster demon-y game. And he, voiced The Darkness, the demon thing itself. Then last one, obviously Donald Glover, I thought I'd mention, who's just a very talented son of a bitch. Still a little bit sore that he left Community, but everything he does seems to turn to gold, and it'd just be cool to just talk and pick that guy's brain apart, because he's just a freak of nature as far as everything he does is just amazing, it feels like. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Those are really good choices, because I was like trying to think of like people just in gaming, and it'd be good just to have like another female on the podcast. So I'm thinking of like Elise Williams from Funhouse, just Jessica Chobot, because she's been in the industry for quite some time. Even like Lucy from IGN.
Lucy O'Brien, yeah.
So just get some gals in here and get some perspective, get some.
Yeah. Do we claim her as our own? I know she's from New Zealand, but typical Australian way, do we just claim her as we do with New Zealanders?
As we do with everything. Was it like Russell Crowe and everyone else?
Yeah.
Oh, we claim Russell Crowe until he's being a bastard, then he's
related but completely unrelated to the show. He released a video recently, Russell Crowe did, where he's explaining Aussie slang. I don't know if you've watched it.
I got recommended to it, and I was like, no, I think I'll pass on this one.
There is some humdingers in there that made me actually laugh out loud. Like, it was cool to see. And he's just getting old and more Ned Kelly-like by the day, but good on you, Russ. Hopefully you and Tugger are still fighting around America or whatever it was from South Park. Remember that?
That's right, yeah. Oh, God.
All right, the third last question. What's more important to you in video games, action or story?
I'm going to say action. Some games that depend on storytelling, it feels like a hurdle. Like, it feels like sometimes they depend on it so much, it just kind of stops the game in the tracks, and I hate that. I prefer like action games, especially like, where you can make your own story. Like, it's up to you. So, yeah. So I guess action.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid. I'm going with option B. I'm a story narrative guy through and through. I agree with you. If they don't sort of execute the blend of gameplay and story, it can sort of bog itself down a little bit. But when it's executed well, my goodness gracious, does it just bring all the emotions to the surface. So give me some good story. All right, the second last question. If you could have any video game character as your best friend, who would it be and why? Who's your best mate from video game land?
I don't know, because like I'm trying to think, like, I don't want anyone to overshadow me. I just want someone to kind of be supportive. You know what? I'm going to say Shax from Destiny. Sorry, another Destiny answer. Because Shax is the ultimate hype guy. Like, if anyone that hasn't played Destiny, Shax does the voiceover for, like, Crucible, so PvP. And he's just yelling, yes, get him, you've got it. Like, he's just constantly yelling in your ear when, you're doing well. He'll let you know when he's disappointed when you haven't done well, but when you're doing well, he's your biggest hype man. And he's a hero, so he's big and badass, so he'll protect me when I need it.
Yeah, he is a very imposing figure. And yeah, he's just a badass. And I do agree that he does get that blood and heart pumping when you are in those battles, and how you're doing well. He's well portrayed, that's for sure. He's certainly better than Zavala, who I absolutely despise. And being a Titan, it sucks that he's sort of our ruler of our respective guardian sector, and it shits me.
Being a hunter ain't too great right now. We got no one.
That's true. Well, you got a vacancy. You could maybe take that spot.
I'll take it.
This was a tough one, because I was trying to think, like, how far down this rabbit hole do we go as far as would we be compatible, would we get along, or do you just want someone that's just big and imposing and will do everything for you and keep you safe? So I initially had like someone like a Master Chief, but then I've sort of pivoted away from him, and I thought Diva from Overwatch, because loves snacks like me, loves playing video games, so I feel we'd get along really great. Got mechs and stuff. Who doesn't want to be cruising around in a big mech?
I don't know if I want to point this out, but aren't you hanging out with a 16-year-old girl?
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Okay, maybe not. Diva in the future.
Okay.
My age Diva.
I don't know, she might be older. I just always thought she was like you know. She has Doritos and Mountain Dew, so at least you got that.
Yeah, this is early 30s Steven now. Yeah, I probably should have thought more about that. Maybe I'm just going to say someone now like Arthur Marsden from Red Dead Redemption 2 then, because he's just an old grizzled dude. We can get on some chewing tobacco, drink some whiskey, shoot some stuff,
go hunting,
hang out and reminisce.
Yeah.
Because I'm certainly not hanging out with any 16-year-olds, that's for sure. Let's strike this from the record. All right, moving on to the last question before I dig myself any deeper. Would you give up video games for life and receive a hefty sum in cash, or would you refuse the money? So you could define the amount of money that would make you give up video games, or do you feel that there's no amount of money in the world that could make you stop playing video games forever? Even like mobile games. So we can't sort of say, I can still play some stuff on my phone. No gaming.
I don't really play any mobile games. Like, the thing is that this has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and just say suddenly, like, stop eating pizza. Like, don't have Coke ever again in your life. The drink, by the way. Like, it's just to stop it instantly. It's just like, it's hard to think about. And even if you know, any other person that maybe isn't into video games would go, yeah, you take the freaking money. It's a difficult thing, because you can't. How do you eliminate that part of your life? Just stop it dead in its tracks.
Yeah, because it is very much part of our respective identities. You know, this is something that we've been engrossed and immersed in since we could walk, almost, you would say. You know, 30-something years of gaming is a lot, and
we don't even know
what
we'd be missing out on in the future.
Yeah. See, and if there was a way you could say you never played again, but I guess you were aloof to what comes out in the future, like you weren't paraded with here's the new platform and the new games and whatever else. If you could sort of have like this ignorant lifestyle where you never saw that would be all right. But yeah, when you're seeing all this new stuff and Keanu Reeves still jumping on an E3 stage in 20 years time, a lot of FOMO would occur, but it would have to be a hefty sum. I could do it, but it would have to be like millions upon millions, where I could have just that amount of money that I could be just traveling all the time, doing all these just outlandish things to keep me distracted enough to not be thinking about playing The Witcher 10 or Mass Effect 20 or whatever it might be.
It'd have to be a lot, like a lot beyond a lot beyond a lot, because I've always said that I can see myself still playing like video games when I'm old and like decrepit. Like, I still believe VR is going to be something that like us elderly video gamers will be using in the future, like, you know, just to simulate like just being somewhere, you know, like, I don't know, it has to be a crazy amount, and even then I'm still like not sure. So yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, the money would have to be crazy. So I'm saying, in this, like, let's just say it was $1 million, I'd probably still have to maybe say no, because that doesn't get you a lot nowadays. Like, maybe a house.
That doesn't last very far.
A house and maybe a car.
Yeah, that's why I thought something like 50 million or something. Like, that's a hefty sum, and you could do a lot with 50 million. You could also burn it very quick, but you could hypothetically live for the rest of your days pretty comfortably off of 50 million. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Unless we go down that like Ready Player One route, where everything does then get embedded into technology.
And you're just out there like, oh, I can't do it.
You can't participate. You're just hanging out, sitting there reading a magazine. Oh well. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the questions. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, and I think it's something we could maybe look at implementing for future episodes, where we maybe tackle a question that could be related or unrelated to games during future episodes, whether we tie it in to get our Patreons to give us those questions initially, or you know, submit them through the Discord or email, whatever medium. We'll work that out, but I think maybe we'll sort of look at bringing in a regular sort of question or listener-based segment to maybe close out future episodes. So that was maybe just a little bit of a taste of what's to come in the future.
Sampler.
Yeah, a little sampler. But yeah, if you've got any feedback, any questions, any answers to some of those questions, obviously hello@8bit.net on those emails. We are 8bit on the socials, or you could hit us up individually at Miss Ali Hart or at Brendan 8bit. Yeah, send us those questions. Send us those hot takes. Send us those responses to some of those questions we just threw around then. So would love to hear from you. But yeah, that sort of wraps up that part. We've got a little final segment to go. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
we'll jump into that now?
Let's do it.
I thought we'd sort of change things up and end with one last Twitter response here. And this comes via way of Don Fisher, who's at Dodgy Don Gaming on the Twitters. And he has said, THG is as addictive as meth. As disappointed as I was when Salim TD had to step aside, you and Miss Ali Hart have taken the podcast from strength to strength since. The revolving door of special guests and bonus game show episodes keep things fresh. Keep killing it, legends. And shout out to the time I had a multi-episode long rivalry with NATO in the Apple reviews. There were some 5-star episodes. Hashtag, I wish I didn't know NATO. Hashtag, I'm glad I know NATO.
Wow, we finally got some closure.
We did. It's only taken 18 months or so to get to the bottom of where those reviews come from. And yeah, Don Fisher at Dodgy Don Gaming has stepped out of the shadows and went, yep, that was me causing this beef. But he owns it. And we appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for the very kind words.
It's probably one of my favorite, like one of our little arcs that kind of continues on through episodes. Like, little bits was that. And I just, now we have closure. Now we know who it was, who the mystery person was.
Dodgy Don Gaming. looking at his display pic on Twitter, he doesn't look too dodgy. He looks like a good bloke. I appreciate also the blue Bond singlet, like the trucky Shearers singlet he's repping in there too. I used to love wearing those.
I still do.
Hey.
They're comfy as fuck.
They are indeed. And this episode, number 200, has been comfy as fuck. It's been quite the journey, quite the reflective experience. And yeah, really appreciate everyone for sending their questions, their memories in, and just being general good people and taking the time out of their day to share in this this massive big milestone for us. Miss Hart, it's been a ride. 200 episodes. But it still crazy. Doesn't feel like it, No. No,
like 200 episodes, like on paper, if looks like a lot, but like, I mean, like we've continually said, this just feels like friends just chatting. So who's counting,
Yeah, yep. Certainly not us, even though we know that this is episode 200 of the THG mainline series, but yeah, it's been a journey, and yeah, as a sort of we've touched on where we began and where we are now, and Reese helping get us so far, and then Dream helping us get further, and then life gets in the way, and people need to prioritize and shift their focus. So we do miss having those guys and their opinions on the show, and hopefully we'll get them on for some future episodes and riff about old times and talk about that video game content you'd love to come to us for. But yeah, Miss Hart, it's been an honor to get to the big 200 with you, and yeah, we'll see what the future holds, and if we can get to that 1,000 and be talking with our colostomy bags and walkers and everything in conjunction with whatever platform we're playing at the time, the PlayStation 60 by then, I don't know.
Maybe it'll be like podcasting in VR.
Oh yeah, and we just sort of think the thoughts, like don't even have to speak. It's just a little chip in your head and it transmits it out there into a podcast form.
Look forward to it.
Oh yeah. Just as long as it doesn't grab some of the other thoughts running around our respective heads, because the podcast would become very interesting content then if it's not already. But yeah, it's been our longest episode we've had for a while, clocking in at nearly 1 hour, 1 and 3/4 hours. So it's been fun, and that's what this is about. I think just having fun, and it's great that we can get on here and riff and have a laugh, share some stories, throw some opinions around. If they're correct or incorrect, who knows? But we at least having a go. And yeah, here's to 200 more.
Here's to 200 more.
Anything else you want to say before we maybe close this beast down for another week?
Yeah, just once again, thank you to every listener, every person that's downloaded, every person that's interacted with us and communicated with us, everyone that's done a review, everyone that like took the time to send something in today. You are all extremely important to us, and you know, I'm sure a lot of you don't understand how really important you are to us. You know, we do this because, you know, we're passionate about it, and we're great friends, and it's always a good excuse just to shoot the shit. But without you guys, you know, that momentum, that heart, that soul just wouldn't be there. So thank you to everyone that has supported us all along this way. Yeah, we love you.
Couldn't have said it better if I tried. So yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that. Those words, I think, perfectly summarize what we're about and what we want to do. And yeah, I think we're just thankful for everyone being on this journey for us, for the ones that have been there since day one that are still here now. Thank you. And for the ones that have found us later, thank you. And for the ones that have found us and fallen away and maybe come back another day, thank you again, because yeah, it means the world to us. And yeah, we're just a couple of people talking about video games, you know, having a laugh and sharing some stories. And yeah, we appreciate you coming along for the journey. But yeah, until next week, where we're coming back to our regular program with episode 201. There has been so much news the past few weeks, so it might be a little bit of a delayed news cycle to try and catch up on some of those big stories that have popped up the last fortnight. But yeah, until next week, 8-Bit Nation, much love and thank you.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
Shout out to Chuck Fresh too for that smooth delivery on our sound bites.
We really shouldn't have someone that sounds so good. Makes us sound shit.
We love you, Chuck.
Love you.